Welcome to part 2 of loading the customer dimension. Now if you remember in part 1 we got an error here and it has to do with that foreign key constraint. So what I'm going to do here, just to make this very simple and easy so you understand what's going on visually, I'm going to go out to the diagram and I'm just going to right click and delete that relationship from these two tables. Okay. Now what I would normally do is do this in the execute SQL task, do it programmatically, but I want you to understand what's going on. And so when I close this, it will save it, it will make the changes to that particular database, and so now that relationship is gone. And so let's go back over here again and notice that I need to stop the debugging since the task failed, it didn't complete, and I will just run this one more time and let's see if it works this time. And so notice it's going to run, and the only task we've got is to truncate that table, and you will notice here that the truncate worked just fine. Okay, so the first step's done. We're going to truncate the table, and let me show you one thing here. Notice that I ran this package and it didn't actually close out, it didn't stop. I'm still in debug mode. I'm going to press this button here and see tools show up. If you're ever in a position where you're trying to drag things on like an execute process task, you drag it and nothing happens, and you're thinking, well, okay, maybe I just missed it. You drag it again, nothing happens. It's because you're still running. Okay, if you'll stop that, now you can go back and drag stuff on. Well, we need to do a data flow task now. So I'm going to drag a data flow task on, and we want to actually grab the data from the DIM customer in the data warehouse AdventureWorks database and move it. And so I'll double click the data flow task, and I will use the source assistant, and I'll drag that on, and with this I am going to connect to the data warehouse, right? And I will click OK, and then I need to complete my OLEDB data source connection here. So if I right click on this and go to edit, you will see that it says, okay, what do you want to connect to, a table or a view? Or do you want to run a SQL command? Well, I want to run a SQL command. Now, I've kind of taken a little shortcut with you here, and that is out on the desktop of my machine. Okay, and I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to minimize this. I have a work files folder here. Now, in your work files folder, it may not look like this, but you will see a load dimension tables transact SQL file. Okay, well, I'm going to open this using Notepad and show you that I've got a thing in here for loading this customer table. Now notice I'm doing an insert into that starts right here and goes down to here. Now if you just want to run this from inside the SQL Data Management or the SQL Management Studio, you can run this. But to run this inside the package, I just want to do a select and grab the data that I need and then see about doing something with that later. Okay, so I'm just going to right click and copy this to save a little time, so you can look in your work files folder and see that code out there for you if you would like. I'm going to go back into here, I'm going to right click and edit this, and this time I'm going to tell it that I have a SQL command, and my SQL command is this right here. I want to select customer key and so forth. Now I can go look at my columns and I can choose which columns I want. Well, I want all of these. And so I'll say OK, and at this point I have my data source. Now I need a data destination, right? So I will go grab the destination assistant and I'll pull it on, and I will choose this time my database, the VTC DW that I'm trying to load the data into, and I'm going to go ahead and make a connection between these two. All right, and then I'll right click here and choose edit. And I'm simply going to tell it what table do I want to work with, and I'm going to choose table or view, and obviously I want to work with the DIM customer table because that's what I want to load. Then I need to click on mappings to set my mappings up. Remember age, we're generating that, and so we don't want to put anything into there. Notice yearly income couldn't match up with annual income. They have the same data type. I just named them differently, so I'll just left click and drag over to here and let it go and map that one, and looks like I'm ready to go, right? So now it looks as though all I need to do is run this. Now notice something here. I'm getting a red X and it didn't go away, and it's saying, wait a minute, dude. Notice that the column title can't convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string types. Now, this is something that was changed in earlier versions of integration services, and that is, this thing's not going to make any assumptions about converting data types for you. So notice, if I right-click here and try to execute this task, it is going to connect to the OLEDB source, and when it tries to write into the destination, it's going to give me an error. And oddly enough, this time, it actually reports the problem. Title can't convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string types, neither can name, and so we got two columns that are a problem because of this conversion. Now, how are we going to fix this? A couple of things we could do. We could go change data types in our data warehouse. We could change them to Unicode types, but I want to show you how to use the data conversion task to solve this problem and show you a little gotcha with it. But I'm out of time in this video, so join me in part 3. We'll use data conversion and get this thing working.